Another practice that you can do for remaining in the flow is the practice of forgiveness. It's the practice of forgiving anyone and everyone that you feel has wronged you or has done something that you feel hurt by. Because when you are holding on to that hurt, you're not in the flow. When you're holding on to that hurt, you actually believe that there's something that happened to you and that you're still carrying with you an open wound that is never healed. Now, the minute that you practice forgiveness with yourself and with the people that you believe may have wronged you, at that point you come back into the flow. You set yourself free once again. You're no longer captive to a memory of an event that happened 5 days ago or 5 years ago. You're no longer angry with your former spouse. You're no longer angry with your mother. There's really nothing sadder than meeting someone who's 55 years old and who's still angry with her mother or her father. Still holding on. When you're holding on, you're not flowing. You're not in the flow. So the practice of forgiveness begins by forgiving everyone you believe wronged you and forgiving yourself for allowing yourself to learn lessons in such a difficult way. And then after you've taken that step to fully return to the flow, to be in the flow of life, you not only forgive them for what you believe that they did to you, but you thank them. Thank you for the lessons, no matter how terrible they were. Thank you. Oh, I have learned. I will never learn this way again if I can help it. But thank you, thank you, thank you. And then you're truly in the flow. Then you're no longer needing to be born again with that person in a future life and marry them, or even in this life. Finding somebody just like them so that you can heal something that happened to you 20 years earlier. You become a mystery unto yourself, as I have become. You become a mystery unto life. You discover who you are that morning, every morning. You're not simply a continuation of where you dropped off the night before. You're a completely new book waiting to be written that day. But that has to be done in the flow. And particularly in the great flow, in the heavenly flow, in the cosmic flow, in the flow of spirit. This is that flow that happens across eons, that has happened since the beginning of time itself. Since the moment that you were first conceived, not as a being, not as a body, but as a thought in the mind of God. Since that very moment, you've entered the flow of life, being born lifetime after lifetime, shedding body after body, shedding identities, losing your life and losing your name, only to gain a new one. And as you discover that you have always been and will be part of this great flow of spirit, then you step into the adventure. Then you say, yes, here I am. I'm showing up for this great adventure. I'm not here only to heal what might have happened to me when I was 10 years old. I'm here to go on an extraordinary adventure. What mountain is next? Not where can I be most successful, not where am I going to be most comfortable, where am I going to have the greatest learning, and where will I be able to contribute the most. And then you begin to ask questions, not where will I find the best job in the world, but you begin to ask, where will I find the best job for the world? Where I can make a difference, where I can create beauty and healing and mystery and adventure and participate with the Great Spirit in the manifestation of this extraordinary reality that we live in. All of this happens within the flow. And the flow, life is truly like a river. Life is truly like a river. We make our way down the rapids of our river of our life, and sometimes we burrow deep underground and we disappear for a while. And then we burst forth out of the rocks like a spring downstream again. And then all of these different life forms begin to live within us, the fish and the algae and the waters that we share with the crops that grow in the banks of our river. And then perhaps we join our waters with another, falling deeply in love. And sometimes we part ways again and continue in our own flow, exploring canyons and ravines that maybe lead us right back to where we were. And eventually we make our way back to the sea. But remember that we're not only in the flow of this river, we are the river itself. We are the raindrops that are picked up and carried back to the source, renewing ourselves all the time. One of my favorite quotes from one of the great teachers, Osho, says that we've all heard the quote that you never cross the same river twice. Well, he says you never cross the same river once. And this is because you are the river. You are that raindrop. You are the one that is floating down the river as well. And this is the cosmic flow. The cosmic flow on a big scale creates galaxies, creates planets, births suns, creates planets like ours, blue-green Earths where life can happen. And this is the great flow, the one that happens not in the lifespan of a human, but in the lifespan of the cosmos. So I invite you to step into the flow, to stay with the flow, and to join me in one more breathing exercise. So this time I'm going to ask you to close your eyes as we do the practice. Sit comfortably with your hands in your lap. Inhale and exhale. Repeating to yourself, all I am is my breath. Stopping at the top of the breath, feeling how it becomes an out breath. Stopping at the bottom of the out breath and sensing how it becomes an in breath. All I am is my breath. And then following the breath as it leaves your body. And it joins a great flow of wind, of breath. Following it as it blows across the Sahara Desert. As it blows northward towards the pole, as it blows across the ocean. All I am is my breath. As it blows eastward towards India. Notice how you are not only doing the breathing, but how the breath is beginning to breathe you as well. How the winds of the south and the winds of the west, how the winds of the north and the east, all gather to share their beauty, their moisture, their purity with you. Stopping at the top of the breath, emptying the breath fully and resting at the bottom. Stopping at the top of the breath a little longer this time, and feeling how you can step into infinity, into timelessness, and exhaling back into time, and stopping at the bottom of the breath, again stepping into infinity, before time, after the end of time, and back into time, and at the top of the breath into timelessness. Slipping in between the moments with each breath. Stepping into timelessness, so that you're able to find that self that was you before you were born. Who were you before you were born? Not in your previous lifetime. Who were you in that spaciousness of spirit in between births, when you're pure light? Did you have a name? Did you have a shape? But you were you. And at the bottom of the breath, who will you be after you die? After your time runs out? Will you have a name, a shape, a form? You'll be pure breath, pure spirit, pure light. And this practice leads us to another flow, which is the richest flow of all, which is the flow from life to death and death back to life. And the understanding that life is a continual expression, that nothing lasts, that everything is impermanent. That flower that you see today blooming will be gone tomorrow. And that's the beauty of it, that it will be gone, that you also will change form, that you will no longer be. So I no longer need to hold on to who I thought I was when I was a young man and try not to get older. No, this is a discovery. And that someday Alberto will no longer be, but I will continue.